Good morning. Well, I've never done anything like this before, but this was mostly inspired for Thanksgivings. Everybody's being blessed, and nobody really knows how people are blessed unless you tell them. So I guess my story begins as a kid, growing up at my grandmother's house at weekends, going to visit, going down to Public Wharf. And looking on the side on the Public Wharf was this 2-story Annabella house with the columns, swing, and the porch. And wanting to someday sit on that porch, sleep in there, and just be in that house, because that house was just so humongous and beautiful. And as kids, going back and forth, I always dreamed of being in that house. And get older and forget about things. So we'll get back to that later. So as time goes, you become an adult, and then you sometimes make bad choices. Most people do. And then you go to church, and you literally go to church. You're not actually in church and being in church. And that's kind of like what I had done years ago, was just playing church, going to church. And then things happen. You make bad choices. You get divorced, and then you pray different prayers. And God sometimes just doesn't answer them prayers, literally on purpose. So then you finally sit there and you change, and you say, well, Lord, look, I picked them. It's your turn. So got in custody of my kids at my mother's. She had a travel agent for years. And one day I was at my mom's eating, and she was telling me that her travel agent, I don't remember her name, young travel agent, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and she had 2 young boys and married, and I really felt for her. And I remember at that night praying for her and thinking, Lord, look, help this poor lady. Like I said, I still don't remember her name, and that you would heal her and help her, and so did that, and then never thought about it again. And then 2 years later, Mom was asking me if I thought Princess Diana was pretty, and I said, well, yeah. She said, well, my travel agent is actually getting a divorce, and you really need to call her. I said, yeah, whatever. I thought, So, I don't know. Mama and Dad left on a cruise, and so I called her and talked to her, and after she wanted to meet, and kept canceling. And so finally, third time, I said, well, this is it. You either meet me or not. She wanted to go at lunch, and I was working, so I couldn't do it. So we did a blind date and met up with her, and come to find out, her mother and family own the 2-story house in Big Lake next to the Public Wharf. So she invited me and the kids to go over there, and here I am swinging on this swing on a porch that, as a little tiny kid, dreamed about being there. So the Lord always has plans for you. And it's just amazing that as you pray, He's listening. He really is listening. So when you pray, you better realize what you're praying about, because He's going to answer some of them, and some of them He won't answer. I'm glad some prayers that He didn't answer. I'm really thankful for everything He's done for me. There's a lot of stuff He's done for me that I'm not going to get into, but when you pray for things, He will answer them. So I'm very thankful for my wife, because it's kind of all started with a song that I heard just a couple of days ago. I think there's a video. I hadn't seen the video. I'm going to see the video, but it's called "Prayed for You" by Matt Steele. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. And it really dawned on me that I do remember that. I prayed for this lady, didn't know her name, didn't know nothing about her, And then 2 years and a few days, I actually marry her. Yeah, pretty amazing what the blessings that God gives you, or and most everybody. And so be thankful. I challenge everybody around that's listening to this. I know it's kind of silly, but you need to tell people what God has blessed you with, because nobody knows. And to keep all his stuff secret, sometimes you just need to do what you got to do.